thank you all for joining us, especially on pretty short notice. I think I know most of you, but for those of you who I don't know, my name is Elizabeth Cromwell, and I'm the President and CEO of the Charlottesville Regional Chamber of Commerce. And there's Christine Nardi, sorry to yell. On behalf of my board chair, Christine Nardi, I would like to welcome you all to today's announcement about Project Rebound. Before we get started, there's some folks that I would like to introduce who are on our steering committee. And so if you could just raise your hand when I call your name. Pace Lochte from UVA is with us. Roger Johnson from Albemarle County is here. Denise Herndon, also from UVA. It looks like she just logged on as well. And Chris Engel from the city of Charlottesville. Thank you. And we are the initial members of the steering committee for Project Rebound. And so I want to thank you all for making this partnership possible. And I thought what we do is I would give you a little bit of a background about what Project Rebound is, why we are undertaking this project, and then we can talk a little bit about sort of the nuts and bolts of what we hope will happen, and then we'll open it up to questions. So I'll just go ahead and start and say that, in response to the COVID-19 situation, lots of members of the community, particularly in the business community and in our anchor institutions such as UVA and city and county, we've all been talking about kind of what are the next steps. And I certainly feel like there's a lot of people in this community who are trying to help each other, and their businesses that are trying to collaborate and partner. And we felt like we had an opportunity to bring all those ideas together so that we're not duplicating efforts, hopefully, and that we're exploring ideas and best practices through some industry-specific committees that we are inviting members of the business community to participate in. And this is going to be a fairly quickly moving plan, because what we're hoping to accomplish is that we have these meetings where people will gather together, share some of the ideas, share some of their pain points, and together put together some recommendations that will come back to the steering committee and that we will turn into a cohesive document to be shared. Certainly the first portion of it we hope to share before the governor reopens from the, it's a June 10th reopening date we're currently looking at. And so we want to have some recommendations in the hands of the business community before that time. And depending on what those recommendations are, we may also, I think it's quite likely that we will take a deeper dive into some of those areas that we discover and come up with more recommendations for kind of a phase 2, if you will. So that's the idea behind it. I think what might be helpful is for my board chair, Christine, as well as all the other partners, to kind of explain why each one of our organizations feels like this is a, fits within the mission and vision of their organization. So Christine, do you want to just kind of briefly mention the Chamber's board goals, our mission and vision?
I'd be glad to. And hello, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to be on this call and learn more about this important new initiative. So as the chair of the Charlottesville Regional Chamber of Commerce, I'm excited to report that earlier this year, we adopted a new vision, mission, and strategic plan. And we think that this Project Rebound initiative really is a perfect fit for the vision and the mission of the chamber, and I'll explain why. So our vision is really simple and clear. It's we are working towards a thriving regional economy. And our mission to do that, how we do that is we convene we advocate and we engage to strengthen business in the greater Charlottesville region. And so between the vision and the mission that I've just articulated, Project Rebound really fits into both of those categories, particularly related to our mission around advocating, convening, and engaging. So we're really excited to partner with the city and county and UVA and to help convene and engage the community, thinking through very carefully what are the things that we're learning through this crisis and how we can come out of this crisis and into recovery strong and ready to move forward to restart the economy. So thanks.
Thank you, Christine. Pace, would you like to give a little perspective from UVA's standpoint?
Sure, I'd be glad to, and thanks for the invitation to be on this news release. I think, you know, as folks know, UVA has been on the front line of this pandemic from the very beginning in terms of addressing the healthcare needs of the community. You know, that's the research clinics, it's expanding testing, it's conducting research and trying to find a vaccine. And President Ryan has asked us to continue looking for ways to partner with the community during this crisis. You know, we recognize that we have a significant economic impact on the region, and we really want to work with the business community to understand what it will take to get our region up and running again. This is part of President Ryan's mandate to be both a great and a good university. And we really look forward to working with the city, the county, and the chamber on this important initiative.
Thanks. Roger, would you like to make any comment from the county standpoint?
Thank you, Elizabeth. I certainly would. The first thing I'd like to do is thank you, the city, the university, for your willingness to think we before me. We greatly appreciate the collaborative effort we're about to embark upon. As many of you may know, the county has a strategic plan for economic development called Project Enable. Included in this strategic plan is the creation of strategic partnerships to further the public good. I can think of no other project that does that more than Project Rebound, and the county is glad to be part of it.
Thank you. Chris, how about you from the city's perspective?
Sure. Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Christine, for your leadership on behalf of the Chamber. We're pleased to be part of Project Rebound, and you know, while we're multiple entities here, we are one economy, and it makes sense that we participate collectively to try and seek opportunities and avenues to help recover that economy. You know, we've had quite a shock here that nobody has seen before. And I think one of the opportunities that this points out is just how interconnected we all are. And when one piece of the puzzle doesn't fit or stops working, we have to work together to re-engage that to all of our benefit. So, you know, this pandemic has brought something to the forefront that we've never seen before, in essentially disconnecting the consumer from the rest of the economy, which has been fairly devastating across the country and across the world. So we need to work together to the extent that we can locally to help knit that connection back together and do it safely, do it efficiently, and hopefully we'll be better for it as we come out the other end.
Thank you, Chris. And I think your point about the community suffering quite a shock. I mean, obviously, the world has suffered a shock, and here in Charlottesville and in Albemarle County, I think what we've been thinking about is, you know, the shock to different sectors is not necessarily the same thing. So we've got, you know, small businesses that are in crisis in a lot of very immediate ways. We also have, you know, a very large defense community, IT community, our anchor institutions. They all have urgent needs and also important needs that span both immediate and longer term issues to be addressed. And so that's really why we came up with this idea of forming 7 different teams to focus on industry specific issues. And so today we are going to be opening the Project Rebound page on cvillechamber.com. and cvillechamber.com will enable anybody from the business community who wants to send in comments, send in ideas, send in questions that we can farm out to all these committees for their consideration and discussion. We also will have an opportunity on that page for people to sign up if they would like to participate in one of these committees. We ask that people have business experience and also either live in Charlottesville or Albemarle County if they would like to participate in these committees. You can see on our press release and also on the website that we've broken out our groups into reviving small businesses. The second group is protecting the arts and the creative economy. The third group is restarting the hospitality and tourism engine. The fourth group is assessing key industry clusters, and that is such a big and diverse group that we've broken that out into 2 subgroups, which includes IT, defense, and financial services in one subcommittee, and biotech, manufacturing, and food and beverage manufacturing in the second subgroup. The next one is leveraging anchor institutions. The sixth group is restoring nonprofits and community organizations. And the seventh group is preparing vital infrastructure. And again, we're trying to stay very tightly in the lane of rebuilding our economy. And so while we know that there are multiple issues and pain points related to all of these different groups, we're really looking at addressing what are the immediate steps we can take to help open the economy here back up again here in this area, and also what can we learn from this experience that will make us a more resilient economy in the future. So those are really the kind of the key areas. When we get groups established, when people sign up for these committees, they will start meeting immediately. We have a very tight time frame for this project. We're hoping that those meetings will take place online, just like we're doing right now, between now and approximately May 20th. We also anticipate that each one of these teams may meet once, they may meet multiple times, they may break out into their own kind of subgroups. We really want to leave the flexibility for each one of those groups to glean the information in the way that they best see fit. We want to have all that information back to the steering committee in mid to late May, and we will be putting together the at least the first part of this report that we will get back out certainly before June 10th, and we hope, knock wood, well before June 10th. So that's kind of the timeline for us. I do want to, again, acknowledge this is just a massive team effort, and while there are a lot of different entities in the steering committee, I think all of us bring something different to the table, and the Chamber certainly couldn't do it, a project of this magnitude, without city and county and UVA support. So I really thank you, from the bottom of my heart for getting this moving forward. We also have co-leads for all of these committees already in place. We haven't filled out the committees yet beyond the co-leads, but it's a really very well respected group of people who raised their hands and said yes when we asked them. And, there was not a single person who said, no, I'm too busy to help. I think everybody recognizes the need to build a common response to this situation and all work together to build up the economy again. So the last thing I'll mention is that my staff, I want to thank Andrea Copeland-Whitsett, who will be the project manager helping us out with this, and Anne-Marie Hohenberger, who's handling communications for this. And so it really is a team effort. And the reason we came up with the name Project Rebound is I think we were all very inspired by Coach Tony Bennett's quote after they won the NCAA championship, that was, if you learn to use it right, the adversity, it will buy you a ticket to a place that you could not have gone otherwise. So, and I think that kind of captures the spirit of what we want to do here as a group. We want to take that adversity that we've all suffered and turn it into something useful that we can learn from, and we can all, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats. And so that's what we're really trying to accomplish here. So I think with that, if any of the steering committee members would like to add anything else to that, we can do that. And if anyone in the media would like to ask any questions or provide us with any feedback or comments, we're certainly open to that as well. And I'm not even sure, should I like unmute everybody or I can't see many of you. So if you have a question, feel free just to unmute yourself and jump in. Maybe I captured everything.
I have a technical question.
Okay.
I thought I was recording because my screen says recording, but I think you were recording or someone else was recording, because then it said I needed to ask permission.
Oh, shoot. I am recording.
Okay. So is it possible for you to send me the video or post it online or something?
Absolutely. I can certainly do that. Sorry, that's something I've learned, maybe a complication.
Well, this is the first Zoom press conference I've come to, so I just
Me too.
So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I would have some way to use some of the video.
Yes, I can absolutely upload this to YouTube. Is that the best way to do it?
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
perfect.
All right. I say that. I think I can.
And at this point, I mean, from what I'm hearing, this is just a launch. There's nothing specific about financial contributions from any of the participants or any details like that at this point.
That's correct. What we're really hoping to do is engage the business community and get people signed on to these committees. That needs to happen like immediately so that we can start having these meetings. That's really kind of
How do they do that? Do they go just to the Project Rebound website and they can sign up right there?
Yes, if you go to cvillechamber.com. Anne-Marie, do you have a link to it from the homepage?
Yes, it's on the homepage now. The direct link is cvillechamber.com/rebound. I can also put that in the chat right now, I think. We'll see.
Any other questions or feedback?
I think I have I guess a clarification question a little bit. Can any business be involved in this? I'm guessing most businesses in the area, especially larger businesses, are chamber members, but is this open to the business community at large in the city and county, or just chamber members?
Absolutely. That's very important to all of the partners, that we want to make sure that any business, whether or not they're a member of the chamber, of course we want everyone to be a member of the chamber, but we want to make sure that we capture the largest possible swath of the business community. So anybody who's in business, we want to participate.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Did we cover it? Any other thoughts? We also hope to provide some updates as we go along. So when we start getting some information out of the meetings, we will be posting updates on the chamber website, and we'll have that information. We're also getting some assistance from UVA's team at the PACE. Remind me, it's who's doing the facilitation.
Our organizational excellence team.
Yes, and so we are getting some professional meeting facilitation, which is going to help us tremendously as far as collecting information and making sure we're asking all the right questions and getting good information. We're hoping all of those committees will ask the same questions really to each other and provide us with different perspectives on some of those answers. Anything else from anybody on the steering committee that we may have not touched on that you think we should? No? All right. Well, then I think we did our first Zoom press conference. Oh, Roger, yes.
Elizabeth, I think it's important to mention that in addition to signing up for committees, people can also get involved by simply suggesting things on the website. Perhaps you may mention that. Anne-Marie, do you have any other comments about that?
No, the comment forms are available on the website now, and we definitely encourage people to send in as many ideas as they can. Those are organized into sort of 3 different buckets, one being the best practices and things we're seeing right now that are working. The next one is sort of challenges or obstacles, and maybe along with that, practical suggestions to solve those obstacles. And then the third area that we're asking for input on is opportunities, what people see being possible for the future where we can actually learn and build and grow from this.
And our goal for that input is to farm those out very quickly to the various committees that they're relevant to. So we don't want want that information to come in and not be used in real time. So we're going to be making a big effort to make sure we connect that information to the right people.
Are you going to send a link to the video, the YouTube video?
I can do that. Sure.
Yeah,
I will do that as soon as we hang up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. And we'll be back in touch with more information.
Okay, great.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
All right.